Well, howdy, folks. Thought I'd come on here and post a collection video. And of course, it's not just any old collection, I might say, or you might say, because normally I would showcase these things right here. You know, DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever. No. This would happen to be musical. What am I talking about? Something that just celebrated an anniversary. How about vinyl? Today I'm going to show you my small but quite interesting vinyl collection. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. Here's my stack of vinyl. And the first thing we have here is the Zac Brown Band release, Greatest Hits So Far. Of course, this is a vinyl release. And it's a 2-record set. They did this one properly. Normally, with a 45-minute album, you really do want 2 records for the quality to be precise. See that. And the credit information. And I'll just pull one of them out because they look very similar. And of course the other one's on the other side. See, it just folds up like a book. Yeah, Zac Brown Band. Now the next few are by country singer Mel McDaniel, the late singer Mel McDaniel. These are ones I used to listen to a lot. Here's a Stand Up. He was signed on Capitol Records back in the 1980s or 70s. He goes back to the 70s as well. But he was more popular during the 80s. Stand Up was one of his more popular tunes. So yeah, there's the record to that. Capitol had something interesting with their records, is that when they would release albums in the 80s, they put them in plastic. Because this is an original release. I bought this off of online. I got Zac Brown Band from Barnes & Noble. Through their website. They're a good place to buy brand new vinyl. They have a lot more online than they do in their stores, so keep that in mind. But I bought this off a place in Georgia, a record store in Georgia that collects, stuff like this. Fairly reasonable priced, around $5. Depends on the obviously it depends on the popularity of the album. This guy, he only had a few a few hits that everyone knows, but I used to listen to him on a regular basis. And pretty much standard Capitol Records record here, if I can get it out, which is just a black label with the colors, and of course the Capitol label. And there's Now You're Talking. And I'm not going to pull this one out because it's the same type of label and stuff like that. Then there's Holly Dunn. Bought that from the same place as I did the Mel McDaniel records. She had one big popular song off this album in particular called Daddy's Hands. And and she was on the defunct MTM Records, but was really just, if we look down here, if you can read that, distributed by Capitol Records, because we'll see here in a second the similarity. Ooh, plastic. And the label was like that. Sorry if I'm moving the camera around. This is a fairly recent one. Got this about a year ago. And of course, these kids are very popular online. The only way that you can get this is on their website. That's the only place you can buy their, I think the only place you can buy their albums in general. They do have CDs. They do have, I think you can buy them on iTunes or Amazon or something, you know, digital download. But if you want CDs or even this, you can go to their website. Of course, it is autographed by the three kids. I didn't expect that. They've been on Dave Letterman. They've been on like the late night shows. They're kind of a modern day bluegrass folk type of band. Of course, now they're all teenagers, and they are phenomenal bluegrass musicians from Jersey, out of all places. And very phenomenal musicians. Here's the Third Day's Miracle. The only place, this was limited as well. The only place that you could get this was through Third Day's website, and it was only for a limited time. And of course, you got the CD to come with it, and it was about $30 package. Well, back to Sleepy Man Banjo Boys, each item was sold separately, so if you wanted a record, you had to wait a little bit longer, because I got the CD first, but about a few months later, then the record came, so because the record took a lot longer to produce. Third Day, different story. It came with the CD intact, and again, it's autographed as well. And there's the record. Now we start getting into more classic rock albums. We have the Eagles, Hotel California. Of course, it opens up like this. And there's the song lyrics. Here's the back picture. Now this just shows what you get with vinyl, which you couldn't get back. I mean, you can't get today. First of all, there's a little insert for credits, stuff like that, and we'll set that to the side. Then you get the album itself. If I can get it out. Yeah. There you go, the album itself. And there's one more thing. You get this. How cool is that? Only with vinyl, folks, that you get stuff like this. This is a case where you feel like you've got something. I'm just going to set that to the side. Next up is Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. My only album I can really listen to by him. And of course, it's fairly simple. It just has, you know, the back. But the similar principle is it has an insert for credits. This one didn't come with a paper sleeve. Oh, yeah, it did. Never mind. In the back, there's pictures of the band. Just I slipped the record out. But it had a place, this has a place where you could slip the record into, and it fits nicely. This also came with a digital download code that had the song and had all the album in MP3 mode. But I also have the CD copy of that. Continuing on, we got James Taylor's Greatest Hits. And of course we just open it up. It's just a basic white cover. And on the back it has credit information about and publishing information about the songs. And on the back we just have Warner Brothers Records. And I think, and of course this has been republished because that's the modern day Warner Brothers Records label or logo. But if we pull this out, they recreate it just like you would back in the 1970s, just as it was. This has just been restored from the original master tapes. Yeah, it's good stuff, and this record sounds very, very good, actually, and it sounds very, very nice. Then we got Johnny Cash at San Quentin. Again, the same principle with the James Taylor as with this. This has been republished, even though it's been restored to its original content, but it has been republished even on vinyl. But because a lot of these companies, they don't make, the record companies, they don't make records anymore, so they have to go to somebody else. But they recreate it just like, hold on a second. I'm trying to do this one hand and it's kind of tricky. They recreate it just like you would have seen it back in the original release. But yeah, there's Johnny Cash at San Quentin. But here's where I can tell that is they openly say it. Right down here at the bottom is there's a label here called Sundazed, and it goes on. If you read in the small print, it says right here, right here. Matter of fact, come on, focus. It's focusing on my thumb, but anyway, it says Sony Music Entertainment. At the time of this release, Columbia Records was under CBS. It would have said CBS Records down here instead of Sony Music. So that right there means it's been republished. And it even says the date. What does it say? Yeah, 2010, Sony Music Entertainment, manufactured by Sundazed Music, by Sony Music Entertainment. So there you go. A couple more modern ones. Here's Pitch Perfect. I got these two, and here's Pitch Perfect 2. I got these just to see how they would sound because this is all a cappella, and it's okay. It's not the best. I think where it lacks is because this was recorded digitally, like on a hard drive. And I think the music suffers when it's put back onto vinyl. I think if they'd have just used analog tape, which no one will use anymore. But that example, these two albums. Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicle, their 20 greatest hits, which is both are which, and of course we got the Beatles #1, which both are 2 record sets. They're both greatest hits packages, and of course this is back in the day when they used analog tape. It sounds phenomenal, believe it or not. And again, these records are, well, at least this one is published to be like it was when you purchased it back in the 1970s or 60s, whenever this album came out. Even though they were published not too long ago. But I didn't show the Pitch Perfect ones. They're nothing fancy. They just got, there's the label for Pitch Perfect 2. And I think it's something similar for Pitch Perfect, the first one. Yeah. There you go. I forget to put that right there. I'm going to show this off. This is, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Again, 2 record set. And this album was like 68 minutes if you listen to it on CD. However, you do need to be careful. It is wise, like if you're listening to today's music, you put this on, you pick up these vinyls. It would also be wise to pick up the CD versions as well. Just because, vinyl wears out and so forth. It is the best way to listen to music. I will grant you that. But eventually vinyl does wear out and needles wear out. But a CD doesn't wear out as much. However, I will say this. When you pick up a CD version of this, especially this album right here, there is one slight difference. Their version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine, on the record, it's the radio edit version. It's like a 3-minute and 20-some second version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine. If you get the CD version of this, you get the full album version, which is like close to 12 minutes of that song. Other than that, it's the same setup. And then finally, Beatles 1. This is all their #1 hit songs. And they did something cool with the jacket. Because the record just sits right in there. That's it. And of course, it has on the front of each cover the songs that's on that particular record, and like how they would look if you bought them on 45, the jacket that the 45 would come in. And of course, there's also a poster in here of each one of the songs as well. And there's portraits. This folds out. There's individual portraits of these pictures. So yeah, this problem I have with this record is it doesn't close properly, because it kind of doesn't want to shut. It's just the way the packaging is. It's in there a little tight, so I'm gonna have to readjust that. So yeah, that's the records I have. Pretty cool, huh? Just a little FYI, if you're looking to start in them vinyl, if you want to buy them in the store, places to buy are Books A Million, Barnes and Noble, FYE is now starting it. So even though FYE doesn't have the a little word of caution is that they don't have a big selection of records. They do have a lot of great titles in there, but don't go in there expecting like a whole store full of vinyl. You're just going to see like a fairly decent sized rack, and that's it. But with places like Barnes and Noble, they say go to the website barnesandnoble.com to check out even further titles that they have on vinyl, because there's new titles, and of course there's classic titles and special editions and stuff like that come out. So from me to you, see you later.